What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Tuesday, April 6th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comments section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. We're rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Andre Drummond, if he plays, Marcus Smart, Patrick Williams, and JERAMI Grant on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up at number 5, we're going to the point guard spot, and I'm going to Malcolm Brogdon, who's questionable, by the way, so keep an eye on this one. He's 6,700, projected for 35.5. The goal is 45.5, and I have him in the optimal lineup 24% of the time. Now, Malcolm Brogdon did practice yesterday. Domantas Sabonis didn't, so I have Malcolm Brogdon in. I have Domantas Sabonis out. I think that is important. I've got Malcolm Brogdon at a 1.1 fantasy point per minute rate, 32 minutes, 27% usage, 20 points, 6 assists, 4.5 boards, maybe a stock. It's a pace neutral spot against Chicago, but the Bulls defense isn't very good. And spoiler alert, it's not going to get any better having Nikola Vucevic be your starting center. So I really like this spot for Brogdon at 6,700 if Sabonis is out. That's just a little bit more creation, a little bit more shots to go around, and at a $6,700 price tag, I don't think he's priced where he would be if Sabonis were out long term. I think this price would rise into the 7s slightly, so I want to squeeze out the value when I can. I'm sure there's going to be a groan on this one. Number 4, point guard Ben Simmons. He's 7,400, projected for 38.5. The goal is 48, and he is in the optimal lineup 25% of the time. Now, we know Ben Simmons has not been great as of late, but Joel Embiid is back, and I have no reason to suspect that Ben Simmons isn't going to continue being himself. So, 34 minutes, 1.14 fantasy points per minute, 22% usage, 16 points, 7 boards, 7 assists, 2 stocks. It's a slight pace down spot against Boston, but you have to assume that Ben Simmons is coming to play in this one. A matchup against Boston, if you're not getting up for this one, you're not getting up for anything. And he is simply too cheap at 7,400, given his minutes and his normal rates. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that he continues to be his normal 1.15-ish fantasy point per minute self. And I think when he is that person, his price is north of 8K. We see it down now because of how bad he's been lately. I am not going to overreact to recency. That is not how this works ever for me. So Ben Simmons, the number 4 contender. Now this one's a big one. Number 3, center eligible Myles Turner, 6,200, projected for 40. The goal is 44, and he's in the optimal lineup 27% of the time. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm assuming Domantas Sabonis is out. That is big news for Myles Turner. When Sabonis is off the floor this year, Myles Turner has a usage rate at like 23%. He's been a 1.3 fantasy point per minute guy this season. The entire team changes, and if you want to dig into it a little bit, they are better without him on the floor. Now, I know people are going to freak out about it. It's in the data. Go look at it. Take Sabonis off. Leave Turner on. Much better team so far this season. Anyway, I'm not going all the way up to 24% usage. I'm not going to 1.39 fantasy points per minute. I'm giving him 34 minutes, 1.17 fantasy points per minute, neutral usage, 20%. So that's 17 points, almost 8 boards, 3.5 blocks. And you know how important 3.5 blocks will be on FanDuel. Plus a steal, by the way. Now, this is a pace neutral spot against Chicago, but it's not a good defense. I love this. At 62, look, if Sabonis were out, this is the same thing we said before. If Sabonis were out, Myles Turner would be over 7K. It's just a no-brainer for me at this point. I'm praying that he's out. I'm going to have all the Myles Turner tonight. I love this play if we don't get Domantas Sabonis. Myles Turner is number 3. He would probably be higher. Actually, he would be number 1 if this wasn't a center spot. But you can only add up all your center exposures to 100. You could add up every position, other position, to 200. So 27% Myles Turner at center is sort of like 50% if they were able to roster 2 centers. Unquestionably an incredible play today. Now we're actually staying in this game, but switching teams. Number 2, Zach LaVine, shooting guard eligible, 7,200, projected for 39. The goal is 47. Optimal lineup, 31% of the time. I just like LaVine here. His price is down. He's been on a little bit of a cold swell, sort of like Ben Simmons. Today is the day to buy low. 34 minutes, 31% usage, 26, 4.5, and 4.5 in a pace up spot for the Bulls against the Indiana Pacers. They actually gain two possessions over their average, and they'll actually play a little bit faster, I think, with Sabonis out. Now, we knew, like, Zach LaVine was a 9+K player recently. He is 7,200 now. Even with Nikola Vucevic, he's not taking away that much offense. I love getting to LaVine here. I expect him to be 78, 79, even 8K in the near future, so long as he is healthy. If he's playing, I'm betting on his health, and I'm betting on him enough that he is my number 2 contender. Now, before we get to that number 1 contender, one last reminder to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Then, head on over to Twitter, follow me, at Josh Engleman. I'm looking to get to 18,000 followers. It could only help me out if you go ahead and hit that follow button. I'm giving you the goods. I'm giving you updated sim results as we get closer to lock. Finally, head underneath this video into the comment section. Give me your favorite contender, your least favorite contender. And if you've got a guy that you think should be on this list that isn't, I want to know who it is. And finally, the number 1 contender, once again, if he plays, shooting guard Fred VanVleet, still just 7,400, projected for 43, the goal's 48, optimal lineup 41% of the time. He is on an island. Now, he didn't play yesterday, but I think he was pretty close. And if he's in, we've seen this happen time and time again. Fred VanVleet comes in from being out for a couple games and goes straight into his normal minutes. So, 36 minutes, 1.2 fantasy points per minute, because don't forget, there is no Kyle Lowry here today. 27% usage, 21.5 points, 8 assists, 4 boards, 2.5 stocks. It's a good spot against the Lakers. There's no Anthony Davis. There's no LeBron James. This is not the same team. I like VanVleet getting back here. If he's out, go straight back to Malachi Flynn if you need to. That is what we did yesterday. But if he is in, there's no doubt about it. Fred VanVleet is the number 1 contender on today's slate. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Tuesday, April 6th. I'm on the strategy show with Laffy again today, so go check that one out. Process show is already in the books, and a DK version of this video is lurking around here somewhere. No live before lock, though, for me tonight. So keep your eyes peeled for my updates. They'll be around probably 6 p.m. Eastern time today. And then the only other thing that I can say has nothing to do with the NBA. Go Liverpool today. Good luck tonight, everybody. I'll talk to you guys again in the morning.